Uncertainty hangs over Val Coffey's position as DFC consultant beyond March 1st this year. International volunteers recognized for their post-Maria contribution to health delivery in Dominica. And Barbados Pride beat Trinidad and Tobago in Tuesday's Super 50 match by 171 runs. I'm Idonatun Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Details of these and other stories coming up.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back to the Channel 5 News. First up, Val Coffey says he expects to continue in the position of Consultant Events Director of the Dominica Festivals Committee until March 1st. News about Coffey resigning hit the airwaves on the heels of a letter circulating on social media advising Calypsonian Dice that he was no longer needed to perform at DFC's Street Festival last Friday night. Coffey declined to answer the media queries about the matter, referring us to the relevant authorities. Tourism Minister Robert Tong is not responding to questions for clarity on the situation. Coffey had no comments on questions on whether he had tendered his resignation from the post, informing the media that he hopes to be in the position until March 1st.
It's my expectation that it should continue up until March 1st, God willing, yes. God, in His infinite wisdom, determines our future. And I have every faith and every belief in my life that I am unstoppable because I run the race to win. So wherever the good Lord lands me, I'll be on my feet. And because who Jah bless, no man curse. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you very much. God bless you all. See you all next time.
As it relates to preparations for the 2018 World Creole Music Festival, Coffey did not make it clear that he would be at DFC going forward.
What we did for last year, the bands that we were contracted for last year have all indicated that their willingness to participate in 2018. So that is confirmed for 2018. So that will continue. If there's going to be any changes in relation to adding or removing one or two bands, that's a decision, obviously, that we welcome because you have to also have the energy and the feel of what the people would like. We had some discussion in relation to that informally. There is also work going on for the Jazz and Creole, which is a signature event of the Dominica Festivals Committee through the Discover Dominica Authority. There's also discussions going on in terms of Made in Dominica Summer Festivals. And I believe that these events, we do not wait for one to finish to start the other. We keep moving forward. That has always been the plan, even when I was there from 2006, 2010. And even when I came back as a consultant, that's what exactly is going to be continued, because that's the way we have to operate.
On the question of whether he had any suggestions to improve the FC's operations, Coffey had this to say.
Can I answer this question to you after Carnival? Because I would like to enjoy my Carnival before I answer that question. Next question, please.
Coming out from a downgraded rating by the Regional Credit Ratings Agency, the Aid Bank expects several new on-lending initiatives can stimulate economic activity. The Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services Limited, CARICRIS, as of October 2017, has lowered its credit ratings for the Aid Bank by one notch. As a result, the financial institution is on a negative rating watch. Chairman of the Aid Bank, Martin Charles, commenting on that development, says that the low rating is primarily based on the state of the country's economy.
So CARICRIS would have looked at Dominica's economy on a whole. And because Aid Bank is also a quasi-government institution, this would be linked to the downgrading because Dominica's credit rating was also downgraded.
A high rate of non-performing loans can lead to a low credit rating, something which would happen if borrowers are not making interest payments or repaying their principal.
Insofar as the non-performing loans are concerned, this also significantly impacts on the credit rating of the bank. There are not many development banks in the region who have credit ratings, but we took a conscious decision that in order that our lenders can see what we're doing. We took a decision to engage a credit firm, a credit rating firm, which is Caracris, to give us a credit rating so that when we present our financials to CDB and EIB and Bandes and CDF and the others, that they will see that we are a financial institution of substance. But as you indicated, the more delinquencies that we have, it will impact on our credit ratings.
Martin is attributing the effects of the September 2017 disaster as having a role to play in the bank's downgraded credit score.
That's why this morning you heard me asking for persons who are able to meet their commitments to the bank, to come in and meet your commitments. Because this had a direct impact on us post-Maria, whereby we could not have collected enough to meet our long-term obligations to our lenders. You remember 3 years ago when the CDB also was downgraded in terms of its credit rating. And this emanated from the devastation that was suffered in Grenada, in Dominica to a lesser extent, and a few other countries that were unable to meet their commitments to the CDB. And as a result, their credit ratings were downgraded.
In more news, Hurricane Maria has resulted in what is being described as a virtual loss of financial support to Crimestoppers Dominica.
Chairman of Crimestoppers Dominica, Stuart Paris, told Channel 5 News that Maria's crippling effect on the private sector, which is the major source of funding for the organization, will affect its 2018 strategy. Despite this hiccup, Paris says the operations of Crimestoppers will continue regardless of the challenges, and he remains optimistic that the private sector will come on board once it is possible for them to do so.
We will continue to try to do the work that we are mandated to do, which is our objective. However, there are several challenges that we'll have to face because a lot of things have changed with the impact of the storm. Among them, our financial and revenue support comes from sponsors and donors who, in many cases, some of them, their business operations have been devastated in more ways than one. And so it is not reasonable to expect them at this time to give us the level of financial support that they did before. However, I must say that many of them are still committed to the cause of Crimestoppers, and once we get that support in large or small ways, we will continue to keep on, because we can't take our eyes off this program, because if we take our eyes off this program, Dominica will become a different place that we wouldn't like to have.
Paris pointed out that due to infrastructural damage caused by the hurricane, the number of calls following the storm had naturally dropped, but has been picking up as the country is being restored to normalcy.
In 2017, we got 53 tips, calls from the public. Understandably, we only got 4 of those calls in September, and that was prior to the storm. In October, we got 1, and you can understand why. In November, we got 1, and when the communication improved in December, we got 4. So we're calling on all people in Dominica who want to make Dominica a safer society for us to live, not for the tourists. We need to make it safe for ourselves, for our neighbors and our neighbors' children. And if we can make it safe for our neighbor and our neighbors' children and ourselves, we won't have to worry about the tourists.
Following Hurricane Maria, the state was left in a vulnerable position, with residents being more concerned about their security and that of their property. Paris implored the public to play its part in helping to curb the level of crime, especially post-Maria.
The option is open to report any kind of crime. When you make that telephone call, it's not answered in Dominica. And where it's being answered, they have no caller ID on their telephones. And so they don't know who's calling. And so when they get that information, they relate to the relevant authorities on the ground here in Dominica, in this case the police, and the police take it from there and do what they have to do. Prior to Crimestoppers coming on the scene, people have confessed that they don't want to interfere in reporting crime. because they would have to be asked who's calling, where you're calling from, what is this, and then you reveal identity and put yourself at risk. Crimestoppers has given an opportunity to eliminate that.
Crimestoppers Dominica is a non-profit organization run by volunteers. It gives the public an opportunity to report crime without revealing their identity or putting themselves at risk. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Environmentalist Washwe Douglas believes it's unfortunate that environmental issues have not gotten the level of attention they deserve.
Douglas attended a meeting at the Environmental Coordinating Unit Tuesday with a team representing the largest non-governmental organization in France, Secours Populaire Français. The NGO, which brought in relief supplies after Hurricane Maria, met with the head of the ECU to discuss the group's potential role in sustainable development in Dominica. A representative of an NGO from Guadeloupe was also present at Tuesday's meeting.
We are partner of Secours Populaire Français. So Secours Populaire Français based on France, but they have European connections too. That means they are backing Soleil d'Or for a program in Guadeloupe and here. And a sort of network of people, and then with them we could found some financing part for the project we will have to do in Dominica.
Washwe Douglas was instrumental in facilitating these groups' visit.
I've been strong on the environment for quite a long while, and I think it was in 2009, spent 4 weeks in Cancun at the UNFCCC conference. So one of the things, we are very strong on the environment, because without the environment, in fact, if we had treated the environment properly, we would not have all that problems we're having today. So it's not too late to us to move and take the environment seriously, not only in climate change, but in biodiversity and other areas. We really need to move on that strongly.
Okay, but with this group, you see ways in which they can help advance environmental issues and so on?
Oh yeah, because everything we do, remember we run a program in Portsmouth where we talk about reducing the use of plastics and styrofoam. So right now we just want to move forward on a number of fronts, and the children too. We need to get the children involved because they are the next generation and they must get involved. So even while we talk now, we're trying to put a program in place for us to develop a new kind of man in Dominica to move forward. In Portsmouth, we have a program called the Green City Program, where we're trying to do a lot of changes to make Portsmouth a green city, not only in green in the environment, but green in living, where people learn to live with one another, a more harmonious society. So when you have something like the hurricane, you don't have all that looting and whatnot, because I don't feel that you are my enemy. You are part of me, I am part of you, so we work closer together. So that is the whole idea of what we're trying to do right now.
Meantime, Douglas believes economic activity could be generated from the large volume of wood left on the ground following Hurricane Maria.
My bigger concern is the amount of wood that is wasting. A lot of wood that we could turn into lumber, we could turn into energy pellets, we could turn into coal. You know, they're rotting. That to me is a big, and I sent a proposal to Max and to Soleil d'Or and Secours Populaire. Hopefully they'll assist us in getting a sawmill or some means to process some of the wood, because that income we could be earning, and less strain on them in terms of helping us. So that's one of the areas I feel that within our grasp. The steel zinc thing is not too much within our grasp, but the energy thing is within our grasp. We're also trying to develop closer links with Guadeloupe and Martinique. So we have a separate program on that, which I'll discuss with them.
In other news, one aid agency on island is looking to bring a fresh and futuristic perspective to Dominica's post-Maria rebuilding efforts.
The Israel Forum for International Humanitarian Aid, IsraAid, is an Israel-based humanitarian organization that responds to emergencies all over the world with targeted help and includes every aspect of disaster relief. Mission leader of IsraAid, Michael Bar, said though the organization encountered the customary initial challenges in a disaster-ravaged country, IsraAid is looking forward to helping Dominica prepare better for the upcoming hurricane season.
Lack of infrastructures, poor reception, the need to find the venues to be able to gather people, and the people are very keen and very motivated to change, to go back to their lives, to their routine. So I don't see it really as a challenge. It's part of our field work. But we trust the people around us that, they have the knowledge and the powers to overcome any challenge. We bring different perspective, a fresh one. We bring our expertise as Israelis. We are coming from a very different country, but a country that faces a lot of challenges. So we hope to contribute with our knowledge and tools.
Israel Aid arrived in Dominica the week following Hurricane Maria, and the mission leader says prioritizing the needs of the country is tricky, but the organization is committed to carrying out several aid projects here.
It's hard to prioritize here. It's a very small neighborhood and a very small and strong community. I think that the need is to try to think about tomorrow. I think that in any project, it doesn't matter what field it is important to see how we can prepare to the next hurricane season. So how we can prepare to the next hurricane season, how we can prepare to the next hazard, whatever it would be, and to think about being more resilient, how we can strengthen again the capacities, the local infrastructures, and if it's the education system, or if it's the medical system, or the psychological or psychosocial needs of the people on the island, just to preserve whatever we've got now and to learn from it as fast as possible, to stand fast for the next challenge.
Israel Aid was founded in 2001 and currently works in over 90 countries around the world. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
The Ministry of Health and the Environment has recognized volunteer organizations who have contributed to the delivery of critical healthcare services following Hurricane Maria.
The international volunteers, most of whom have left the country, worked at Princess Margaret Hospital and in various communities. Their contribution was made during a very challenging time for the country when local healthcare providers suffered personal loss, illness, and in some cases were cut off from work due to damaged roads. The support provided by over 200 international volunteers has been described as competent, timely, and invaluable, ensuring continuity in the delivery of healthcare services after the storm.
To date, the Ministry of Health and Environment has benefited from professional and competent clinical services of approximately 200 medical volunteers in the clinical areas, including trauma specialists, psychologists, epidemiologists, doctors, varying specialties, nurses in various specialty areas, pharmacists, among other areas. These volunteers were ready and willing to serve wherever the need was, conducting mobile clinics in very remote areas, despite the challenges of road infrastructure, transportation, and limited accommodation.
The Minister for Health could not attend. His remarks were read by the Permanent Secretary.
The impact of Hurricane Maria at the level of primary and secondary care posed a major challenge, as several components of our health system were seriously compromised. I refer here to our healthcare facilities, the capacity for service delivery at our health centers and hospitals, access to pharmaceuticals and other medical supplies, challenges with our information system, capacity to communicate, and very critically, maintaining an adequate workforce in order to deliver the kind of service that we had to deliver to our people. However, despite the challenges that I mentioned here, the Dominican public continually received healthcare services at both primary and secondary care level in our country, and tertiary level care services overseas.
Some of the volunteers and organizations are helping in other ways, sourcing critical supplies for the hospital.
Your Caribbean nation considers it a privilege to have the opportunity to assist during the island's greatest need, and as the country continues to rebuild, the volunteers can hopefully continue to assist in the vein. They've been telling me the vein, so I'm using your words, the vein. We see that your staff is stretched very thin, and we hope it will normalize soon. We could not have done it without all the assistance from the donors, word of mouth, and volunteers. With the word of mouth, YCN was able to receive many donations. We just recently received a 40-foot clinic container from Texas A&M International University, and it's going to be fully stocked by Medical Bridges with 2 basic clinical units with the beds and X-ray machine, an EKG machine, and some other stuff. It's on an itemized list. But hopefully we can continue to help, and whatever needs y'all are able and need, just let us know. Because of you, someone was able to receive medical care. Because of you, someone learned new skills and was able to survive. Because of you, someone knows that at least one person in the world who cares. This world is a better place because of volunteers like you.
We, on the 25th of December, shipped a container which has been arrived. We have identified it on the port, and in there are medical supplies for the use in the healthcare. We've worked hard at getting this here. We hope that it's appreciated. We know it will be appreciated, and we will continue our best to keep that going. But as an organization, it's something they had started a long time ago, 21 years. In service and helping the community. We have a lot of groups in Houston, and what I want to try to do is to bring us together. Tasha, Mrs. Roberts, I've worked with her, trying to help get with healthcare. There's other groups that she's tied into in getting food supplies. We've been there. The Nurses Association, we've helped as well. And I'm hoping from this point going forward, the relationship with these groups as well as the hospital and other institutions in Dominica, we can do a better job in making sure that our people can get what they need.
You're watching Channel 5 News. The sports highlights is next.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners. Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks for staying with us. First up in sports, Barbados Pride won their match against Trinidad and Tobago by 171 runs in a day-night match of the Super 50 Cup on Tuesday. Kenny Williams has that story.
Barbados, first at the crease, scored 278 for the loss of 9 wickets. Kevin Stout led the way with 74, with much-needed assistance from Marston Chase 50. Sheldon Cottrell and Roshan Primus picked up 3 for 52 and 3 for 70 respectively. Set 279 to win, TNT was bowled out for 107 in 21.3 overs. The only batsman of note was Sunil Narayan 51. Miguel Cummings picked up a timely 4 wickets for 35 runs and Kemar Roach 3 for 33. And combined campuses and colleges beat Windward's Volcanoes by 115 runs and not 117 as previously reported.
Teams will be looking to move up the points table when the Dominica Football Association kicks off Week 2 of the Nations Cup with 8 matches this weekend.
On Saturday, Promex Harlem United will take on Police Sports Club at Windsor Park Stadium. Over at Lap Lane, LA Stars will be hoping to bounce back from last weekend's defeat when they go head-to-head with RC Doctors, who has 1 win so far. Boston Warner will be hoping to slow down We United's winning streak when the teams face off at Cassie Bruce Playing Field. At Benjamin's Park, Skerritt Northeast will clash with Central Cooperative Credit Union Dublin FC. Checking out the games scheduled for Sunday, we can tell you that Gully Football Club will take on ACS Portersville Tarish United at Windsor Park. Over at Lap Lane Playing Field, Sagicor Southeast will be hoping to add another win to their tally when they take on Kalinago Football Club. Belfast Estate Maosoko Strikers will travel east to take on East Central at Castle Bruce Playing Field. Finally, at Benjamin's Park, Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers will be banking on a home advantage to defeat visiting Exodus Football Club. All matches are scheduled to begin at 3 p.m.
Yet another national sprinter begins this year with good results.
Mitchell Davis, based in Jamaica, clocked a season's best 48.25 seconds in the men's 400-meter race to finish second. In an interview with Channel 5 Sports, the national sprinter admitted that while he had limited time to prepare for the race, he was pleased with his results.
On January 27th, I opened up my season with a 400 meters. I will not be contesting the 400 meters this year. My coach placed me in there to test out my strength, to see how strong I am right now. I opened up my season with 48.25 seconds. That's the fastest I have ever opened up my season in a 400 meters. So basically, yeah, I'm really strong right now. I'm really anxious and can't wait to run the 200 meters, the event which I'll be competing in the Commonwealth Games in April in Australia. I'll be running the 200 meters.
While Saturday's 400-meter race was a test of fitness for Davis, he has his eyes set on performing at the Commonwealth Games this year.
I'm looking forward to performing great this season, with my main focus being the Commonwealth Games. As long as I stay injury-free this season, you should be expecting spectacular things.
The 2018 Commonwealth Games are carded for Gold Coast, Australia, from April 4 to 15. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 Sports.
And finally in sports, there were wins for Portsmouth Secondary, Northeast Comprehensive and Isaiah Thomas Secondary in schools netball competitions on Tuesday.
Taking a look at the highlights, we can tell you that Portsmouth Secondary totally humiliated the Wesley High School girls in the under-16 and under-20 categories. Playing on home turf, PSS handed down a 46-1 thrashing to the visitors in the under-16s. Rebecca George and Malia Tuse seemed to thrive under the netball pole, scoring 28 and 18 respectively to steer PSS to the win. The under-20 match was not much different, with the home team winning 43 to WHS 2. At Marigot in the under-20s, Northeast beat Dominica Grammar School 47-15. Ethelyn Telemac was the star shooter with 32, while Kayla Telemac assisted with 15 for NECS. DGS's Trinice Hamilton scored 14 for her team. Over at St. Joseph, Isaiah Thomas Secondary defeated St. John's Academy 13-5 in an under-16 match. For ITSS, Aikisha Peter netted 7 and Jennifer Joseph 6. The competition continues on Friday with 3 matches. Portsmouth will host matches between the home team PSS and Dominica State College in the under-20s at 3 p.m. and Wesley High against St. John's Academy at 2:30 p.m. Over at Marigot, Northeast Comprehensive will take on Isaiah Thomas Secondary from 2:30 in the afternoon.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
To end the news, the headlines again. Uncertainty hangs over Val Coffey's position as DFC consultant beyond March 1st this year. International volunteers recognized for their post-Maria contribution to health delivery in Dominica. And Barbados Pride beats Trinidad and Tobago in Tuesday's Super 50 match by 171 runs. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our news on YouTube and on tdnentertainment.net. On behalf of the production team, I am Idona Baptist. Thanks for watching. Join us again tomorrow.